You have to understand that neutrons work as an entity, like any other entity in the universe. So when the scientists don't understand it, they give it a different name and they call it up quarks and down quarks. But in reality, the plasma of a neutron consists of a center source, and where that field from the center source reduces in a strength that becomes visible to us as a human being, that becomes the size of the plasma of the neutron.
Oh, okay.
So if that is too hard to understand, the easiest way is if you take the plasma of a solar system, you have a sun in the center which radiates its fields outward, and then somewhere, let's say around Earth, when this material becomes tangible, or the magnetic field in its strength becomes tangible to us, it becomes the part of the Earth structure. So every plasma has a source, but we choose different names for this source. In the plasma of electron, we call it antimatter. In the plasma of proton, we call it antimatter. In the plasma of the solar system, we call the same source the sun or the star. And in a bigger scale in the galaxies than in the universe, the bigger size, we call them black holes. So,
Okay.
so black holes, the sun, the antimatter is the same. It's just three different names for calling the source of the magnetic field. So when you have magnetic fields, they interact, and when magnetic fields interact, you have attraction or repulsion. The attraction between two magnetic fields, we call it gravitation, and the repulsion is what we call magnetic field of the or atmosphere of the entity. So then you understand simply gravity is exactly the same thing as the magnetic field of what creates atmosphere. And in turn, you find out you cannot have a gravitational field without the magnetic field or atmosphere. Then the rest is playing the same game in different scales.
I really like that model, actually. A lot of what Einstein had said about gravity was based on his work with studying magnetic fields, and I've always felt like there was a definite connection. And I think that contemporary research definitely holds that there's a connection between magnetic
It's the same
fields.
thing. It's the same thing. If it's very hard to understand, take two pieces of magnet together. Put two similar poles together, facing each other. You find out the two magnets repulse each other. They keep a distance. And where the distance is comfortable, this is the position where the magnet sits. That's the gap. So this is the atmosphere. This is where you cannot enter. This is the atmosphere of the two magnets. Then if you take one north and one south facing each other, they attract each other. So then you find out that repulsion and gravity is the interaction between two fields. So if it's similar, you attract. If it's dissimilar, you repulse. If it's dissimilar, you attract. If it's too hard to understand, always say it's very easy. Call what we call North Pole the exit, and call the South Pole entry. Then it solves all the problems for you. Doesn't matter you put a 1 meter magnet, 10 meter magnets, and a plasma of the magnet. The fields come out and they have to go back into the same tunnel. So if you have two magnets, similar poles, you have repulsion. You put two plasma together, it's the same principle, there is no difference. So you have a plasma of the proton of the body, and you have a plasma of the Earth magnetic and gravitational field, then you find out that's why us humans stand at the level of where we are, and how, according to which height from this center we live, we have different structures in our body. We are shorter, we are taller, we are longer, we have different eye shapes. So it's very simple. Once you understand the concept of gravity and magnetic field are created by the same materials in the same position, then the secret of gravity is resolved.
Now, if it's okay to ask, how is it with gravity? How are you able to find the second pole to be able to repel? Because
The second pole is exactly where the first pole is because you have the atmosphere. It's in the same place.
oh, okay, okay.
So it's the same place, but you don't find that all the material, or all the plasmas, or all the fields are all the time in the same position. Some are north positions to south, and some are south position to south, some are north position to north. So you have a plasma. Plasma is dynamic. So you find a collection of the fields which the interaction between the what's called repulsion and attraction then leads to creation of mass and magnetic sphere of the system. That's why the mass is always constant, because it's a balance between the two fields which are created as byproduct of gravity and the magnetic field or magnetosphere of this entity.
Well, now with the MAGRAV device, then with the technology you've developed, can you describe for me how you're coupling to the gravitational field of the Earth in order to repel
No,
it?
we need to couple. You don't need to couple. Uh, Simply, if it's too hard to understand, always go on a bigger scale. The bigger scale, take the sun and take the earth. The sun produces gravitational and magnetic field at the same time. The earth produces gravitational and magnetic field at the same time. Where these four forces are in balance is where the earth positions itself. So our position is dependent on the gravitational magnetic field of the earth in respect to gravitational magnetic field of the sun. So where the four forces find balance, this is the position we are. So now we created a system that it creates both gravitational magnetic field. So when our gravitational magnetic field of our system finds its balance in respect to the earth, this is where our system positions itself.
Okay.
Positioning doesn't come out of rocket propulsion. NASA is finished. NASA is fighting literally fingers, toes, and their teeth to lock Keshe Foundation down, that the truth doesn't come out, that they can carry on with the propulsion business. We know in NASA there is an instruction, nobody can speak to Keshe Foundation. We know in NASA, any of the management who speaks to Keshe Foundation, they are face sucking. We know in NASA, if you are working with NASA, you just put Keshe Foundation, there is no access, they won't let you, because the simplicity is they would like to keep it with what I call the bird and a Chinese firework, what we call the shuttle system and the Chinese firework. And now we look at the way the universe works. And that's the difference. They are not wrong, we are not wrong, but it's going the path in two different ways.
Yeah, a different perspective on things. Well, now with the device that you've constructed, then, so are you using like magnetic coils to generate the field?
No. These are plasma, you're a plasma technologist.
Oh, okay, okay, and this would be similar to the reactor that you've developed, then, in some ways.
We've made a copy of we have made a system copy of all the dynamic entities like a plasma of a proton, plasma of the earth, plasma of the sun, plasma of the solar system, and plasma of the universe. In the universe, we don't see any wings and we don't see any rocket propulsion or Chinese firework. But all the planets, all the solar system have been moving around for millions of years by positioning and magnetic field interaction between different entities that it dictates the speed and position in respect to the rest. So up to now we followed, as I said, we tried to copy the birds, not the systems we made, copies the working of the universe.
Yeah. So by changing, so by changing the way the body itself interacts, then it finds its own position within the gravitational field.
Yeah. This is how the American drone was captured, what do you call it, last year. You create a gravitational magnetic field, you don't need to go, this system of weightlessness is finished, this system of going around the spin to get out of there, this is finished. This is the game of NASA playing. And the game is over. We still need the technology. It's part of the development of the human knowledge. But now we're going to the next step up. And the people who like to hold on to the old dogmas, they stay and they try to protect their bunker.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, do you think, would it be okay to ask, with the plasma reactor, what is it that makes that unique? I mean, is there a principle to construction?
What do you mean by that?
Well, I understand that I saw a video with it looks like a Coke bottle that was modified into a plasma.
Oh, that's Coca bottle is how to produce a plasma. This is not a system to do anything else.
Oh, okay. So this would be the larger Keshe reactor then, would be producing the gravity effects.
No. Our system, if you read our patents, the designs are there. Earlier this afternoon, I looked at the Italian groups are trying to make a copy of the patent, which is published. So the structure has to be a copy of the dynamic bodies in the universe, like the sun, like the earth, like the plasma of a proton. We don't see a Coca-Cola bottle anywhere in the universe. The Coca-Cola is for production of the plasma for the later stages in development.
Yeah. Well, now, is there a pointer on your website to where the patents are at? And the reason
Yes, it should be. Yes, it should be.
Okay.
It's on I'll tell you where it is. I'm going to minimize you. I have it. Just let me check. I'll give you exactly where you're going to go and look for it. It's on the patents. It's on the application. They are resetting the website. So what do you call it? If you go on Keshe Foundation website, and I'm just finding it for you as I'm talking to you. I think it's I have the French version of it. Yeah, but it's on the website. You should be able to find it.
Yeah, I definitely will. I'd like to try and build a replication to demonstrate at least
a lot
some.
of governments we are giving the actual design is given to governments directly. So what do you call it? You don't need to what do you call it? To design something. The patterns are on the website, and if your government speaks to us, they get a blueprint of the whole system.
Okay. So it's really based around the government then. Once they
At
take
the
action.
moment, yes. At the moment, yes. Your government has to be informed of what is going on, because your government are the ones who will protect you. People want everything, but believe you me, if your government is not fully in charge of what's going on, you start eating each other up.
Yeah. The reason I ask is if private organizations wanted to build one just to test.
They are trying. That a lot of organizations are trying.
Okay.
It's not if. UCLA has already been working on it. I know MIT has been working on it in a different way. NASA has been working on it. They can't decode it. We know all sorts of people who are trying to replicate. It's been replicated in Germany, it's been replicated in London in different ways. So it's not something cannot be done, but you want to read what you want to read. You don't read what I've written.
Yeah.
Then you find out you are exactly where you're going to tell you to be.
Okay, and it helps to know that the government influence, I guess, is there for the blueprints once they decide to take that step.
And it's not that, it's just that they do what they like with it. Shortly we release the technology fully to people, but we've given the governments a few steps ahead that they can put security structures in operation.
Oh, okay, okay.
So it's not, and secondly, they don't get any more than what's on the pattern, but with them we explain everything where everything is. Yeah, we show them the order before we show you, because it's very simple. Now you can get from Africa or South America into Washington in a matter of minutes. So would you like how many people from Brazil and South America would you like in front of Washington White House? So they have to put apparatus in control that you people are safe. If you go on the application of the foundation, and then the last column is patterns. So you should be able to find everything there.
Ah, great, great. And that'll be a big...
both patterns are on the page. I see them. The numbers, the patent office numbers, everything is there. It's here, you can see it. So you go on the application on the Keshe Foundation. It says licensing dash patents. So it's there.
Now, one thing I should ask about is the health effects. Is that something that comes out of the same model of physics?
No. Yes, it does, but it works differently.
Oh, okay.
Health application, you have to understand, as we say in English, horses for courses. So you have to understand what you're doing, because these plasma reactors can be even used the wrong way and it can kill as much as it can kill. So it needs to be in the hand of a man with the knowledge of the plasma technology.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking is I'm trying to learn more about, I guess, about really the area of this technology that you're the most passionate about, that you're the most excited about.
The whole lot of it. Because this is what people don't understand, is that once you understand fully that it's the entity and how much it can keep of a quantity, or what we call quantity in the entity, then for NASA to go to space, they have to plan everything for years ahead. Everything, what they eat, what they drink. Because we understand the structure of the universe now, we use the human body in our medical application to feed our space technology, to understand the problems in the space, what happens when materials have certain conditions, where you're going to end up. And that's, you use the body as a galaxy, and then you understand in the galaxy, each planet Earth has a certain position. The solar system has a certain position. You move the solar system somewhere else, the whole thing has to move and adjust. So in the body, you move certain material in the wrong place, you end up with a cancer, you end up with different diseases. Now we don't need to spend billions and go to the Congress and ask for a budget of 18-20 billion to understand how things move. Few $100, you understand the system, you replicate it, you see how it moves, and then you can bring it back. This is the difference. That's the change in the whole concept of the technology.
Yeah, a different paradigm, I guess.
No, it's level of stupidity, how much you want to be stupid. If you want to hold on to what you've been told by the book because the PhD is worth a lot of money, then you reject everything else because it suits you. But a lot of people are open-minded and they're looking at the reality, so they accept the new concepts and they build on it. What I say at the moment, what we see in Keshe Foundation with the new gravitational magnetic field is very much the resistance we saw in the 70s, 80s regarding the computers. That they thought the computers will take a lot of people's job and there was a lot of opposition to it. And now we see total change of course, because it's the same thing with this new technology. You can't stop it. Denying the Keshe Foundation gravitational magnetic field system or the concept and the technology is denying your own existence. Because if this doesn't work, it means your body is nothing either. Yeah. So that's the difference.
Well, and on that note, I'd like to wrap things up. But I want to thank you again very much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.